You want them to thinking about that after, not before, because then you're giving them no reason to go forward with you. Not just because you're you, none of you. We've had one or two guys in 27 years that didn't have a board. They didn't make billions or anything, but they made quite a bit of money. But right now, most of the people in this room have no credibility, financial credibility. You try to go get a loan on any of the deals, Andreas, let's say wherever, this is Germany, let's say you're in America. You try and get these deals done, I already know the answer. We're trick fucking them, which ought to be easy for you. A little Israeli trick fuck. Mr. Peña, you sure you're not Jewish? Well, I don't think so. Well, now I am. I'm just a fucking dirtbag Jew. My great-great-grandmother was raped in Constantinople in 1880-something by Mustafa. So a Muslim raped my Jewish great-great-grandmother, and my great-great-grandfather was born out of wedlock. I'm still a Jew. I can't, fucking Jew blood's in me. So I denied it for 40 years. And every high-powered Jew I ever met said the same thing. It's all right, then. Don't be embarrassed. I used to get pissed off. What do you mean embarrassed about what, you fucking shitbag? And now I am one. Even though my relationship in Israel was terrific with the government, they treated me like a fucking, I don't know if being treated like Moses is a good or bad thing, but except I didn't wander around for 40 years. But I mean, they were terrific to me. They were terrific to me. But I was dealing at the very highest level. Minister of Energy, Minister of Finance, and they needed something from me. Or they can be nice and cordial when they need something from you. And I was willing to go with my money to go find oil and gas in Israel. And I wasn't a Jew. Now, would they have been nicer to me if they had known I had Jewish blood? They couldn't have been nicer. They treated me terrific. But, so did the Saudis and so have the Kuwaitis. But when people need something from you, as we all know, the people have a different disposition as opposed to when you need something from them. So I have no complaints about it, other than I told you earlier that deal is never going to get settled. I didn't know it was munitions. I should have thought of that, but I didn't. I couldn't. What the fuck's this young kid that doesn't know shit over there, brokering this deal? But he's a smart kid. He's Jewish. I'm sure everybody knows that. The munitions. Okay, that makes more sense to me now. Yeah. Other questions? Who's my 530? 6. You got it all? I know you don't. No, okay. Malcolm X 2 here.
Yeah, I had a question about the paperwork that you passed out.
Yes,
you said it was a quality of earnings.
Thank you. That other thing I sent you. Don't let them get a shot of it by the YouTube. Hold it up just so YouTube can drool. No, the other one. Just hold it up so YouTube can drool. Now that is some more secret sauce. Okay, that secret sauce shows roughly the parameters on various industries, what they sell for at EBITDA, valuation of EBITDA, and those aren't worldwide numbers; those are just U.S. numbers. But you can go to KPMG Israel, Tel Aviv, and ask for, I'd like this. I like these parameters on this industry, and they have it. You can go to KPMG London, they have it. You can go to KPMG Sao Paulo, they have it. But if you don't ask, you don't get, in the infamous words of Bruce the Whipple. Almost all the data that you're going to need, in fact, I'll rephrase it, all the data you're going to need is produced by some big institution someplace. The World Bank has data on this. The International Monetary Fund has data on this. And you don't have to, some of you like to Google fuck and do spreadsheets. But, you know, the only Google fucking you need to do is to contact the institutions. And some of the kids, I don't particularly like this exactly because it's a little disingenuous. They say that, they don't say they're students, but they sound like they're students and they're doing a paper. Well, you are doing a research for yourself. And then they bend over backwards. You could call the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. and get them information. Now, full disclosure, I went to school in Germany. I went to the University of Heidelberg, back centuries ago now. I'm sure the University of Heidelberg, any of those schools in Germany have the information. And I don't recommend it. What I did, this is pre-Google, I hired a graduate student, a law student. The law students are the best at getting shit for you. Second-year law student. I mean, they'll come back with data and information that'll drown you. And but I used it, and now the guy, Christ, he's a senior, big partner in Edinburgh, a big lawyer, very successful kid. Not a kid. Well, he's still a kid to me. He's in his 40s. But I used to use graduate students, and then I hired 2 private eyes myself personally. And because full time in those days, doing due diligence on the people to find out if they're a thief. And what Rebecca was alluding to when she said he knew of a sexual such and such and he didn't report it. Well, he would have been gone in a heartbeat. I mean, that would take me 1,000th of a second to fire him over that. And then he leaked information. And he did a third thing. I forget what it was. Jesus Christ, Rebecca, I'm going to slap the shit out of you, big bitch. I mean, yet she still was, because she had had him move his whole family from Dallas-Fort Worth to Houston. And that's tough. Pardon? No, but I mean, it's still, the kids out of school, I never used to think about it. I didn't give a shit if they got out of school. It was good for them. Put a few speed bumps in their life. For those of you that have ever had teenagers, pulling them out of school, fuck. I would like to have been a fly on that wall. I mean, but she makes her kids dress the way she used to dress in the 60s and 70s. Do you know why she makes them wear T-shirts under the shirt, the boy? Is anybody old enough to remember that?
I don't know why our parents made us do it.
Pardon?
I don't know why. My parents made me do the same thing.
Okay, it's because your nipples are not supposed to show through your shirt. So when you wear a T-shirt, because that's sexual, that's provocation. And I mean, a black kid, it'd even be worse. They'd blame all kind of shit on you, you know. Yeah, that's why. Shit, where I went to school, and of course, when I came back from the military, you know, by the way, all of you that have served in the military, even you, thank you for your service. But when I came out of the military, they didn't thank me. They spit on me. Vietnam War, they spit on me. I used to carry a baseball bat to class. Literally. And now, I mean, it's thank you for your service, but when I talked to front of veteran groups, how was it back in the 60s? Young man, you don't want to know. Young lady, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. But I thank you for your service anyway. The world's changed. That part has changed for the better, to thank all the vets for their service. They certainly weren't thanking me. Of course, then some of the people that have known me along, it's because they spit on you because they know you. It has nothing to do with you being in the military or not, which I don't believe is true. Any other questions about Nellie? Yes? Oh.
The question was, is this the quality of earnings or is this a due diligence checklist?
No, that is the quality of earnings. The accountants will give you a quality of earnings, which is not an audit, which at least a couple of my mentees, superstars, have misquoted. The accountants cannot give you an audit that's contingent on you paying them, because their opinion cannot be contingent on anything else. Quality of earnings. Well, watch, we've only been handing this out since Corona. Watch, it'll be for sale on Amazon. Maybe it's already for sale on Amazon from one of the couple of other seminars ago. Yes, sir. No, quality of earnings is the due diligence, but it's not an audit. They call it quality of earnings for a reason, so they can it can be contingent on them being paid. Remember, we're paying delayed fees. We're paying transferred fees. Success fees isn't so popular now anymore. Delayed fees, they understand. Or some of the real high-priced, they call it alternative payment method. Now, I don't know what the hell that means, but that is what some of the high-priced guys and gals call it, alternative payment method. And it is an alternative payment method. So success fees kind of died in the, before 2008, it kind of died and it was dead through 2008 and 9. But you'll still hear my kids call it contingent, and that's wrong. They're not contingent. Contingent means they may not be paid. Because then they ask, contingent on what? Delayed, deferred, alternative method of payment. That all means it presupposes they're going to get paid someday, which they are. Although I told you a couple horror stories, which the YouTube don't have, of some of my kids that are breathing through the rectum right now. Yes, sir.
So contingent is better than delayed, right? That's what.
No. Contingent means the same as delayed. It means the same, but they cannot have any payments that are contingent on anything. If it's contingent on a deal getting done successfully, but that's not how they write it. As soon as they see that word contingent, it's a red flag. You know, that's right, don't use it. Don't use it. How do you say contingent in Hebrew? Or is there a word?
עמלה. איך אומרים את זה?
Depending on if there's 28 days in June or...
כן, תלוי בהצלחה כאילו.
We had one of our Muslim brothers here who's a prince from one of the royal families. And he goes, I would kill her. And he says, and when you say divorce, I'm 3 times you're divorced. Fuck. I like that. You know? And it's got to be tough. I've said this for a long, long time. To practice a 8th, 9th century religion in the 21st century is tough. Because a lot of their habits, a lot of their mores, etc., are linked to, 8th, 9th century, 6th, 8th, 9th century. But when he said about, we cut her head off. Now, it got the attention of some of the guys. Would I have to bring her there to get the head off? He says, yeah, in our country, my country, he says, I love him. And then he says, Mr. Peña, you do that very well. Yeah. And I have all the shit. I have all that stuff from in the old days. When I was in Yemen, the Yemenites believe that God has blue eyes. And I was really tan from skiing, and I'd walk around with my shit, and I'd take my sunglasses off. And I would cause crowds with my blue eyes. And but the devil's got blue eyes too. So, and remember, the devil's a fallen angel. That's all, if you believe in that mythology. The devil is nothing more than an angel that got out of favor with man. But he was still an angel, but he turned into the devil. And I remind people of that. So I always realized, my mother always called me an angel. My grandmothers, both have always called me an angel. And then my cousin would say, yeah, Dan, I'm a widow, I'm light-skinned, and you got blue eyes, but if you're an angel, then I'm God, So, yeah.
You would have had blonde hair.
I did have blonde hair.
Then you'd be like the Aryan race.
Yeah, I did. The Germans, the Nazis love me too. Yeah. Then I can't say on YouTube because you're all loose lips sink ships. If I told you all the secrets, then I couldn't be helping these kids. Anything else? Okay, I'll see you at 5:30 at 5:36 and then at dinner. Thank you very much.